Oh man, 1 year down. Hard to believe we're just getting started. Welcome to the Yarn Wall, where Jason and I dump some unsolicited, mostly useless trivia and do a deep dive on a few great character actors. Then we add another to the list in our Goratorium. And then finally, we make a yarn to the next movie. And year 2 is only going to get gritty. We have a special shout out to the Funkensteins for contributing to our Patreon. You guys rock. If you'd like to be a part of the Moratorium, check out our Patreon link at themoratorium.com. Now let's get to year 2, or season 2, whatever. Cue the music.
And now for our lesson.
Hang on, let me turn you up a little bit.
Gotta turn it up.
Oh, yeah.
I was running a little late. I had to do some chicken wrangling. Yeah.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, it's that normal Sunday thing when the chickens decide to come around and the rooster chases them around. It's just constant squawking.
Does the ghost of Burgess Meredith just yelling at you?
Yeah, it sounds about right.
That was kind of like preceding Mr. Miyagi and just having Daniel-san do just like, mundane tasks, and all of a sudden he knows how to do karate. That's how you know how to box. You just run around and chase chickens.
Instead of Miyagi doing the little hand warming bit, he's like, just goes to try to cut him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that'd have been a different movie.
You gotta get up, Daniel-san. No, that was Robert Loggia. I got to work on that. I got to work on my Burgess Meredith. Yeah.
Yeah. Although they are very similar. Still need to do that. Why am I blanking on Mr. Miyagi's name?
Pat Morita. Whatever his name is.
None of what you just said was his name. All just sounds. Yeah, so I've got all of them, like IMDb is just, I got probably 10 tabs open on the subject. Plus just one on Stargate for no reason. It was on this morning, so I started looking it up.
The TV show or the movie?
The movie.
Do you not recognize the TV show as being part of the
canon?
Yeah.
MacGyver is the main guy on that one, right?
Isn't
it?
Yeah. Have you ever watched an episode?
I have not.
Yeah, neither have I.
Like I said, it was on one of these like cable channels that we get now. By the way, Bloody Disgusting, the channel is awesome. I've already seen Basket Case this morning. That's what was on right when I woke up. That's what you need. First thing in the morning is just
coffee and Belial.
Oh. I looked down and I was smoking a cigarette for some reason. I don't smoke, but...
And haven't had cigarettes in the house for years. Where'd this come from?
I must have done it in went up to the store in a fugue state.
Do you think that would be a good morning talk show? It'd be, Breakfast with Belial.
Oh, yeah. He's just like, the noises that he makes in that movie are insane. My wife came in and she's like, who are they? What kind of animal are they torturing? And I was like, I think it's just Frank Henenlotter off. Just like making these weird, very weird, disturbing sounds.
Who did the voice for Belial?
I don't know. That's a really good question that I'm not going to...
You're not going to look that up?
I've got too many tabs open.
I've got them where I can only see the first few letters of what the tabs say. Because there's so many open.
I do just want to say a couple of things about Stargate, since I was watching it. It was written by Dean Devlin. Well, I know him from a MST classic, City Limits, which also has John Deal in it, So Dean Devlin is the writer-producer of this. Dean Devlin, he's like a Shane Black type guy. He's just like during the 90s was doing everything. One of these days we'll have to or honestly, we might have already talked about him, but
Universal Soldier, Stargate, Independence Day.
Yeah.
Godzilla. The the Roland Emmerich version, yes.
His buddy is Roland Emmerich, and they did do all those like mega summer blockbusters. But anyway, he's in City Limits with John Deal. He's an actor in City Limits, and John Deal is in Stargate. He's just a random military guy. You could land a plane on Kurt Russell's hair in that movie. He looks like he is auditioning for like Guile in Street Fighter.
That's awesome. So Dean Devlin, he was an actor in Real Genius.
Ooh, I do not remember him in that, and I've seen it.
Misfits of Science. That sounds like something I should have watched.
Oh, man.
The adventures of a team of misfit superheroes who fight crime for a scientific think tank, which had Kevin Peter Hall in it.
Ooh. Oh, yeah, that's right. As a no makeup, he was just himself, right? Or just an actor?
Yeah, it shows him like towering over these kids. Courtney Cox was in that.
I think that might have been was that her first thing?
Maybe.
Besides the Springsteen concert? Or video?
Now I've got to get that song out of my head. Thank you.
Okay, anyway, real quick, back to Stargate. One of the doctors, I just have to get this out. One of the doctors, not doctors, but I guess scientists or whatever I think she might actually be like a ancient languages person or something, but Vivica Lindfors.
Okay. That name sounds familiar.
Well, we have talked about her definitely more than once, but she's the nurse in Exorcist 3 with the shears,
That's right.
Wait a minute. I brought her up very recently because I remember her screaming, who stuck this fucking guy or whatever. But she is in Stargate looking exactly like, this came out within a couple of years of Exorcist 3, I think. So I finally looked her up on IMDb, and she has been acting forever. She was in black and white kind of westerny movies with Ronald Reagan,
Wow.
She had a very interesting IMDb.
Yeah, I'm looking at it here. Just on and on, way back into the 50s and 40s. Jeez. Got her start in a movie called Snurriga Famagen.
Wait a minute, what?
Oh, shit.
Snug what?
Snurriga Familjen.
Oh,
1940
is that
is Swedish.
Oh, okay. Is she? Wow. Okay. We're already starting the podcast on a very weird...
Oh, have we started the podcast?
I don't know. You haven't said anything about...
Nope.
Anything.
All right. Well, you introduce it this time then. Fine.
Okay. Hi, guys. Welcome to the Moratorium. We're going to talk about even more random shit than we usually do today.
You had one job, and you still fucked it up.
Is it?
Welcome to the Yarn Wall.
Oh.
I'm Tim Kornman, and with me as always is slightly confused, yes, tastefully spoken, Jason Walker.
When we do these middle episodes, the name of the podcast changes?
You didn't know this?
Because to me, the Yarn Wall is the Yarn Wall seems like a segment that we do.
You haven't noticed in the last year that every other episode I said, welcome to the Yarn Wall?
I really haven't.
Wow.
You know what? I'm going to go back and listen to these. I feel like I need to reconnect.
I should not have gotten you that Men in Black memory eraser pen for Christmas.
Yep. I just have it on strobe. It's on right now. Right. And if I just glance over into that corner of the room, I wipe them out.
Start it all over again.
It's fun. It's fun for me. Probably not for anyone else. Oh, that's right. She was in Creepshow. Okay. Whew. Now I'm going to close that tab out.
Ooh, she was in a TV series called Frankenstein's Aunt. She played Hannah von Frankenstein. Hannah.
Oh, okay. Hannah, did you say?
Aunt Frankenstein arrives to her nephew's castle to set things right and clean the family name.
When you read those synopsis, I think I've settled on what you're doing. You read everything like it's a buddy cop movie, yes. Even when it is a horribly violent horror movie. This is the Yarn Wall.
This is the Yarn Wall.
I'm just going to reintroduce it. Because it is the Yarn Wall, I just have a bunch of random trivia. But I got to hit you with something and see what you think about this. This blew my mind, and if you know it already, just pretend like you don't, and we can talk about it off air. But
okay. Is this still about Stargate?
No. I closed that tab off. I mean, There is more to talk about, you know. I think Jay Davidson should have shown his wiener in Stargate too. That might be a controversial thing, but
that's in the director's cut.
It worked for whatever that other movie was. What was that called? I went to the theater to see that. His big claim to fame was that he was playing like a Madame Butterfly type character.
The Crying Game.
The Crying Game.
Jeez.
Yes. I saw that at the theater.
Everybody did. It was a big movie.
It was. I mean, everybody was, it had a twist and everybody was talking about it. And I did not know what it was until that point of the movie. I don't know how I think people were like so like trying to keep that secret, and just like blowing your mind.
He hasn't been in jack shit. How did you pull out his name? Because you just happened to look at it. He was Raw and Stargate.
No, just those two movies.
He was in a TV movie called Jiggery Pokery. Just wanted to throw that out there. He was in a documentary called Kinky Gerlinky.
How do you spell that? Now you're just having fun with us. I'm not looking either one of those things up, by the way. You think you can get on this podcast and just make up words and
yes,
we're not going to... We've got IMDb too.
What were you talking about? The Yarn Wall.
Yeah, the Yarn Wall. I was saying that the Yarn Wall is the place where we just drop random trivia because we don't know what to do with it. But and how I found this, I don't quite remember. The guy in Lethal Weapon, when Riggs goes to the Christmas tree farm.
Yes.
We've talked about this during our Christmas episodes. The guy with kind of the receding hairline and dark black hair. If you just Google Lethal Weapon Christmas tree scene, it'll show you the same three guys, the other two guys I don't know anything about, but the guy with the, he's got really thick black hair and it's kind of like in a little like ponytail, I think, in the back. That guy's name is Blackie Dammit.
His real name.
He changed it from Jonathan Kiedis, I think.
Okay, Anthony Kiedis' brother?
Anthony Kiedis' dad.
What?
Is that guy in Lethal Weapon.
No.
He is also the villain in Class Reunion. I had to look it up, and then I saw the cover, and I was like, oh, okay, I vaguely know what this is. He gives a very, very weird performance in Class Reunion. But anyway, that kind of blew my mind a little bit. If you look at him, you're like, oh, well, yeah, of course. They've got like kind of...
they kind of look the same.
They both have the same face. Yeah. They got kind of long
crap.
faces. Anyway, isn't that weird?
That is super weird. Blackie Dammit.
Yeah. I love the name he picked. Can't imagine that drugs were involved at all. Anyway.
Okay.
That's all I've got. Yep. Goodbye, folks.
9 Deaths of a Ninja.
That was a Blackie Dammit picture?
Yeah, he was in that. That was Sho Kosugi.
Oh yeah, I guess that would have been around the ninja.
This is Albie the Cruel is who he was. That's a great name, too.
Interesting. Well, he's basically the main character in Class Reunion, which that looked too bad for even us to think about doing, but...
Blackie Dammit was in Meatballs Part 2.
Yeah, I saw that.
He was also in Dr. Detroit.
Wait a minute, dude. John Hughes wrote Class Reunion?
Yeah, because we've talked about that because it was the one movie that, Garrett Graham and the Unknown Comic is in it as the Unknown Comic. Is that right?
I mean, that is also Night Patrol, but...
awesome.
Anne Ramsey is in Class Reunion, which we might have touched upon in the, probably 10 podcasts that we've done where Anne Ramsey is the
That's right.
main focus.
Easy.
I love Miriam Flynn. Miriam Flynn is in that too.
Who is she? Cousin Catherine in National Lampoon's Vacation. Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting.
Might have to do class reunion. Stephen Furst, Michael Lerner. I mean, it's just full of old character actors.
That could be a lot of fun.
Blackie Dammit is wearing a dress during most of the movie.
That is blowing my freaking mind.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in.
Wow. I'm so glad that you found some interesting stuff because I may be a little odd today.
I've either had too much coffee or not enough. We stayed up late last night. I don't even know what we were doing. We were watching a movie.
I tried to watch a movie. It didn't work. The one that I watched today for the Goratorium is a little strange, and it's another one of those video nasties, and we'll talk about that more.
Well, do you just want to slip in it now, or do we have any unfinished business for the keep?
I think we do.
Well, hit us with it.
But
okay,
since I am way all over the place, you're going to have to sweep up some of that mess.
Just for my part of just the the keep podcast, I have a full product design for Nectoids, the toy that I wanted to come up with. That's just basically just action figures with big necks.
Yeah.
So I got a Skeletor and I got some like modeling clay, and I gave him he had a big neck to begin with.
Yeah, you probably didn't have to mold too much.
Yeah, but it wasn't as big as I wanted it to be bigger. I wanted his like what do they call those? Your traps.
Right.
I wanted his traps to be up around his ears like a Molosar. So I got a Skeletor guy, and then I got just a random G.I. Joe. Scott Glenn's kind of not nondescript, but he looks like an action figure in real life, basically. So I got the old modeling clay, and he's all necked up now. So I'm going to send you those pics.
Yeah.
And, maybe we could do a GoFundMe or a Kickstarter or something. Nectoids.
Which we should have done for the podcast, too.
Oh, yeah. Well, is there any way that we could go back? And
Actually, I think I've started. It's called Please Fund Me.
Okay. Have you made any money yet?
No.
Okay. Well.
No, I've actually spent more money setting it up.
Yeah. Actually declaring bankruptcy tomorrow. We didn't do the box office for the key. Yeah, we did, didn't we? It was a flop.
It didn't make any money.
I was going to bring this up anyway. The way that I have been choosing, I don't know if you have a certain way that you choose the movies that you want to do, but
usually by mistake.
Well, kind of. That's the way that it's just like a dartboard type thing.
Exactly.
I'll see something that reminds me of something else, and but then when I choose it, if the Kevin Bacon game part of it is easy, then I'll say it was meant to be because I didn't have to move very far. Mm-hmm. And the one that I want to do is no different. I think I just have 2 moves. And
all right,
got to it. I mean, but that's what I'm thinking is like that was really too easy.
Yeah, you thought it was we would never get there or get out of it, and 2 moves, you're there. Yeah,
an abundance of riches.
So I wanted to wrap up a few things that have nothing to do with the keep, only because we raised questions. I'm editing the yarn wall after Dead Alive now, so I come across things that we have brought up or that we have misspoken on, or I'm doing my due diligence there.
The yarn wall acts as kind of a like correction corner kind of thing,
or janitor's closet. It's a
I like that a lot. It's the janitor's closet. Oh my God, can you imagine the type of things? Let's name some things that are usually found in a janitor's closet. Small half-pint bottle of cheap booze in a greasy brown sack.
A small coffee can full of cigarette butts.
Yeah. And he's keeping these that are even like maybe half a drag.
Yes.
If there's white paper on it, he's probably going to make it into one big cigarette later.
Yep.
What else? Rubbery gloves. This is Malvert's closet.
God's
Ooh,
cheese.
let's call Correction Corner Malvert's closet.
Malvert's closet. There we go.
Did you say cheese at the end there?
Yes. There's some random cheese. Just
It's gross. It's sweaty, like that sweaty cheese. Ew.
a little crispy on the corners.
Ugh. Yeah, it's changing colors.
But I wanted to bring up somebody who we thought about. We asked about the kid who played Gage in Pet Sematary. We never looked
where
him up.
he was from.
Yeah. And actually, his name is Miko Hughes, and he was born in 1986. And in the top of his stuff for IMDb states, Miko started his acting career in a public service announcement when he was 22 months old. What was he trying to push at 22 months old?
Right. Dish detergent? I think I've looked at this before. I've seen that little credit before. So what was it?
I don't know. That's as far as I got.
It's like diaper rash
Maybe.
cream or something?
But, did he star in it? I mean, he didn't, the more you know, gaga.
Right. Is he not a twin? I can't remember if we talked about this.
No, I don't see that he was a twin.
Okay. I've always heard that they prefer twins so that they can keep rolling and they don't have to, they can kind of get past child labor laws that way. But is that a real thing? Or is that just like, it
Maybe.
sounds a little made up.
But what also is going to sound made up and may blow your mind since you just brought him up, his father, John Hughes.
Wait a minute.
Wrong, John Hughes is a special effects technician in Wes Craven's New Nightmare. I just wanted to linger that out there in front of you for a minute.
That makes me realize that maybe sometimes we kind of jump to conclusions about this. The name John Hughes is pretty common name, I would think.
Sure.
What if it wasn't the John Hughes?
Right.
I mean, it is because I'm looking it up on IMDb, but still.
Yeah, this is a totally different John Hughes that did the special effects in 8 Million Ways to Die. Another movie I have or have not seen.
I don't even know what that is. What
That's
is that?
Jeff Bridges, Roseanne Arquette, a former police detective, still recovering from his alcohol addiction, is seemingly drawn to LA's criminal underworld after stumbling upon a local drug ring.
I thought you were going to say underwear for a second.
Underwear. But anyway, Miko Hughes, he was, and we've talked about it, we mentioned him before because he is the kid in Mercury Rising. The Bruce Willis movie with the kid who can...
Oh, okay. I don't think I've ever seen
cryptic
that.
quotes or whatever. Yeah.
Yes, I do remember that.
It wasn't great. Not for me. Anyway, but he's been in several things like Jack the Bear, which got some like critical acclaim. If you remember that, that was Danny DeVito. Yeah, I don't remember the movie.
I'm pretty sure I saw it. It seems like one of those movies around that time where it has like a super like depressing ending or something, or
which did not include a bear coming in and killing everybody, which I was really hoping for.
Yes. There were no bears.
Yeah.
They just shaved Danny DeVito and got him in there. God, I know we've talked about it before. Just the fact that I've seen him like naked, covered in oil is just so, never thought that would happen to me.
Being birthed from a couch.
Yeah. Ugh. Wow.
This kid was also in Spawn.
Oh, okay.
He played a voice in Baby Geniuses, Escape to Grizzly Mountain. Why would you want to escape to Grizzly Mountain?
Yeah, it seems like a place that you'd want to get away from.
And is that the sequel to Jack the Bear?
Maybe.
Okay.
They need to get that bear from... Is the bear from the Great Outdoors? Is he still alive?
What's the lifespan of a North American grizzly?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Somebody look it up and tell us.
What's the lifespan of a Danny DeVito?
Very long.
Your typical Danny DeVito.
Then he was in 2006, he was in a movie called Surf School, which, you know, I had to look at because I'm getting anxious to do our
wacky summer movie.
Our spring break films. Yeah.
Yes.
Lynn Shay is in that. I was like, interesting. I don't know if I
He's had such a weird career.
Wonder if she's in a bikini.
Oh,
but also Taylor Negron was in that.
Oh boy.
All right. So I was thinking about doing a Taylor Negron deep dive.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a whole lot of interesting trivia. You know, he's dead. He died.
Right. Let's see. We've got Last Boy Scout.
Last Boy Scout, which I loved his role in that too. He's 6'2". I didn't know if you knew that. He doesn't seem like he's that tall, right?
No. I think that happened a lot around that time of the like late 80s was Last Boy Scout, was that into the 90s?
That was into the 90s, yeah.
Well, like comedy actors playing like serious roles all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
It was just weird that he was, you know, you always figure he must be like a friend of the writer or director or something. Because why the fuck is Taylor Negron in there? But then he's in like Nothing But Trouble, and you know.
His name in Nothing But Trouble is Fausto Squarens. I can't even read it. Can you read that? Squirens Suzu. I got nothing. It's a bad Scrabble.
They're from Brazil.
The Last Boy Scout was 1991, same year as Nothing But Trouble.
Wow. Taylor was on a rip right there. He was, oh yeah, how do you say that? I'm not even going to try.
He was in Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Oh, right.
He was the pizza guy. He shows up in a lot of movies like that, just as a weird, like, how about Johnny Dangerously? He was the delivery man.
He's slightly swarthy, you know, because he is kind of olive skinned, and he can have like a thin little mustache at certain points.
He was the mailman in Better Off Dead. If you remember that, he was the one going through. He delivered that how to pick up trashy women or something like that.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Very smarmy. He was in One Crazy Summer. Oh, and I think you already knew that he was in the Whoopie Boys.
I mean, that goes without saying.
Just wondering why you didn't bring that up.
Yeah.
He was in How I Got Into College. He played the mailman in that too. Just like little weird bit parts. Have you ever seen How I Got Into College?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, several times.
Have not. Never seen it.
Really? It's the one with the guy from 3 O'Clock High, right?
This has Anthony Edwards.
Maybe I'm confusing.
Laura Flynn Boyle, Brian Doyle Murray, Philip Baker Hall, Richard Jenkins is in it.
Yay, love that guy. Man, have we talked about him enough?
I don't think so. He deserves a deep dive.
Yeah, for sure.
Put him on your list.
I will.
All right.
We'll talk about a Cabin in the Woods one of these days.
Taylor Negron was also in Bad Medicine. I saw that at the theater.
Oh my God, with Steve Guttenberg.
Alan Arkin, Steve Guttenberg, Julie Haggerty, Curtis Armstrong, Julie Kravner.
Oh my gosh.
Gilbert Gottfried and Taylor Negron. Man, can you hear the conversation on that end?
Oh my God. And that was one of those movies, I have seen it like, I don't know, 300 times, something like that. I just
on accident.
It was always on HBO.
Yes.
Same thing with Volunteers, you know, the one with Tom Hanks and
right.
John Candy. Oh my God, that was on continuously.
I just had to start looking at different stuff from Taylor Negron. It was interesting, took me back, but overall, not a good deep dive.
He is hilarious in How I Got Into College, though. It makes me want to watch just his scenes from that. I don't know why Casey Simasco is the guy that I was trying to think of. I don't know why I thought he was. There must be a similar movie. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just thinking of 3 O'Clock High. Always.
But I was looking at Taylor's stuff here. He was in a TV show back in the day, back in 1979, called Detective School. All right. This is a
Okay.
TV show, 30-minute long comedy, and it was only on for one season. It's the comic exploits of the wackos who populate a detective school by a rundown PI.
That's who you want detecting things is just
a guy going out the door.
Oh man, and it even gets the IMDb page for it was very lackluster. No one has spent any time updating this with images or anything. One of the episodes is called Lucy in the Sky with Pizza.
Sounds delicious.
Should have a question mark at the end.
Well, did you see who one of the other main guys is on there?
No, I did not.
And there's some one episodes here. Bruno Kirby.
Ooh, I love a Bruno Kirby.
Ernie Hudson was in one episode, played Bumbaka. Yeah, just thought I'd bring that up.
I don't like that.
One of the main guys is Randolph Mantooth.
Okay. That's the guy from Emergency, right?
Exactly.
I love it.
I watched Emergency.
Love it.
I could not have pulled out Randolph Mantooth's name.
Although that is a very, very weird name.
Let's see. Emergency had 129 episodes in 1972 to 1979.
Kevin Teague is...
Yes.
I just saw him in something the other day.
Randall Teague's been around for quite a while, too. He has 90 credits.
Yeah. Better Off Dead. Wait a minute. Better Off Dead, the TV movie. Now I've got to investigate. I'm going in.
No.
It even has the same, font.
Yeah, you're right. It does.
But I assume from the cover it has nothing to do with that.
A lawyer fights a losing battle against the courts to overturn the death sentence. This is not a comedy.
No, it's not. It is.
Mayor Winningham.
I love a Mayor Winningham, but I'm going to click off of this.
Yep. Next.
Oh, it was in Newsies. We're done. Done with the podcast.
All right. Newsies and School Ties.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Oh, my God. You know what's hilarious? His name in Roadhouse, which I don't think I've ever known, is Tilghman with a GH in it. So it's like, I wonder if he came up with that name because he's like, see, Teague isn't the weirdest thing you've ever heard of. What about Tilghman? It has almost all of the same letters as his normal name.
Well, Randolph Mantooth.
Oh, boy.
They were, both of them were also in a cartoon spinoff.
Of Emergency?
Yes. It's called Emergency Plus 4.
Oh my God. I got to get my eyeballs on this.
It is the LACFD paramedics Gage and DeSoto are assisted by a team of kids and their pets.
Oh no. That seems like a bad idea.
Yeah.
They're just going to be
irresponsible.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, Timmy, you're going to see some, this is a 5-car pileup. You know, we've got multiple dead people. Suck it up.
That's okay. I'll get Fido to suture him up.
Fido's already licking blood off of the pavement, destroying evidence. That's just a horrible idea.
And, of course, Casey Kasem did one of the voices.
That's fun.
If you want to ever go down Casey Kasem's voice acting career.
Well, he was Shaggy, and every other character he does sounds like Shaggy because that's just Casey Kasem's voice, right? He didn't. Sure. It's not like he's doing characters. I'm not even gonna. My jaw was set to try a Casey Kasem imitation, and I fucking put the brakes on. Co-wick.
Man. All right.
Probably because I've never tried one before. Are you gonna do one?
Nope.
Oh.
Nope. I was setting you up though.
No.
I was waiting for it. I was leaving dead air there just for you to pull it out.
I'm not gonna take the bait.
All right.
Not going to have you make me look like an idiot again.
Again. I'm sorry. I apologize to the audience.
Yeah, I can smell that a mile away. I'm looking at Emergency +4. That seems like something that the guys at like Cartoon Network should like redo, like but adult.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah, just dub over the voices.
Yeah.
That would be incredible.
I forget what that guy's name is that did like C-Lab and.
I loved C-Lab.
Yes.
All right, so
Are we done with Randolph Mantooth?
he's still doing stuff, and in 2009 there was a movie called Scream of the Bikini.
I saw that. I didn't click on that, but I saw that.
It actually looks pretty interesting. It's Scream of the Bikini is a 1960s action spy thriller.
Okay.
And I'm like, is it?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
yes, that is a statement, not a question.
All right. I'm kind of interested because of that.
Me too. Maybe it's about a sentient bikini. You know how they like Turbo Teens, the only thing I can think of, and that's not even a very good. My Mom, the Car? I don't know. Didn't we talk about that recently?
Yes, we did. So anyway, from Taylor Negron to Randolph Mantooth.
Man, you're all over the place today.
Kevin Teague. And that has nothing to do with anything that I'm covering today.
Oh my God. Delete all of that.
That was 45 minutes of your life you cannot get back.
Let us have it. Come on.
All right. Click.
Bye, Emergency. I will see you next weekend around 11:30.
All right. It's still playing in syndication?
Yeah.
Awesome.
On Pluto.
Does it have an emergency television channel? It just plays emergency back to back to back?
Yes. Yeah. All emergency all the time.
I fall asleep to Forensic Files a lot.
Yeah. That's something.
And they have a Forensic Files channel. Unfortunately, they play the same 12 episodes every day.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
Forensic Files does the same, like, what's the term I'm looking for? Reenactment? Do they do reenactments?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
I can't ever remember which one Matthew McConaughey is in. It's either Unsolved Mysteries or one of those.
I don't know. I didn't know that.
Oh, you got to look it up. I think it's on YouTube if you just type in Matthew McConaughey Unsolved Mysteries.
Which then makes me want to look at Peter Thomas.
Okay.
Peter Thomas did the voice. I mean, he's done so many voice
For Forensic Files.
announcing.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the one that does Forensic Files.
Awesome.
He's been doing this crap for years. You instantly recognize his voice.
Right. Cigarettes and whiskey.
So I might have to look him up and talk about him someday.
Cool. Yeah, we'll do an all voice. We'll do the In a World guy. We'll do
yes,
all those voiceover guys.
I dig it.
All right, what's your thing?
Which one do you want me to go down? You want my deep dive? You want my so-called goratorium?
Let's do the deep dive first.
Deep dive it is. Hey, this guy's been on our radar. We've talked about him several times, many times, brought him up. Beloved actor, but maybe we didn't know how far back his career went.
Okay.
And how talented this guy is. This guy is incredible.
Okay.
I'm talking about Giancarlo Esposito.
Oh, snap.
I love Giancarlo.
I do too.
He's got 185 credits to his name.
Yeah, dude.
Most recently, everybody's going to know him because he was Moff Gideon in The Mandalorian.
Oh, cool.
Does a great job in it. It really does.
Awesome.
Really good bad guy. I mean, he was Gus Fring in Breaking Bad, which another great evil character.
Right.
That was just straight-laced.
Gotcha.
But he's been around for so long and has done certain things that you may not know about, including, this is my big bombshell here,
Uh-oh.
he is credited for the theme song for the Electric Company.
What? He sang that song or he composed the music?
He was on it in the music.
Wow.
Do you remember the song? Can you pull it out?
Oh, man, no. I really don't. I remember the little, kind of logo with Spider-Man and stuff, but...
Here, I'll give you a little taste of
Let's
this.
hear it.
All right.
We're gonna turn it on.
great.
Beautiful.
I love it. It's funky.
Yes.
I love the children screaming style of music, you know? Just kids singing at the top of their lungs.
Just belting it out.
Wow. So that's crazy.
He did 7 episodes on Sesame Street back in 1982. His early credits, here's one you'll never find. We'll have to pick him out. He was an extra in The Changeling.
What?
1980.
I just watched that not too long ago. I can't imagine who he is.
Nah, I'm sure he's just somebody in the crowd.
I was about to say,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
He was in a movie called Running, which was Michael Douglas being a marathon runner. Has Michael Douglas, Eugene Levy, and Chuck Shimada.
Interesting.
Keep talking about Chuck. Gordon Clapp is in there.
A lot of fun names that vaguely sound like venereal diseases.
Exactly. I've got another one coming up on that one too. Oh,
let's do an episode where we're just
mocking people's names.
Yes, I feel that might be every episode that we do.
He
was in Taps.
Yes. But here's one. He was in Brother from Another Planet.
Mm-hmm. I vaguely remember that. Joe Morton is the guy from Terminator, right? I mean, that's what I think of when I see him. It's Terminator.
Yes.
Is it Terminator 2?
Bennett Dyson. Yes. I looked at him for a minute and I was like, no, I got to get back on Giancarlo.
Yep. He's in Trading Places.
He was in School Days, Do the Right Thing.
Oh.
King of New York.
Yeah.
Mo Better Blues. He was Jimmy Giles, who in Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man.
Yes, I remember him from the COD. That's another movie that I've seen more than should be allowed.
Here's one that you probably didn't remember. He was in Maximum Overdrive. All right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Pick that out of your head.
Damn.
I just watched the clip for it. In Maximum Overdrive, he was the video game player.
Oh, right.
He gets all the snacks from the vending machine, starts shoving them in his pocket, and then the video game starts going crazy.
Yes, and it electrocutes him or something?
Exactly.
I love all those little, deaths, like the pop machine, and the pop machine's the best.
Oh, yeah.
I remember watching that, and that pop machine, that actually kind of freaked me out a little bit. Because now it's comedy, but I was like, that thing just killed that guy. Put a huge, dent in his head.
That explains why every time I saw you get a soda, you were flinching.
Yeah, I do it. I put my money in and then quickly just, flip around to the side of it so it can't get me. You can make them do that.
Let's see here. He was in Amos and Andrew.
Oh, wait a minute.
I really enjoyed Amos and Andrew, but I haven't seen it in 20 years.
Does that have...
That's Sam Jackson.
That's what I was thinking.
Nicolas Cage, Dabney Coleman,
oh my God.
Brad Dourif.
What?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
I'm like, I don't remember any of these in it.
Yep, another one for the Dabcast.
Mm-hmm.
What movie is that from? What movie is that his headshot in IMDb from with the little straw boater and stuff?
For who?
Brad Dourif. Sorry, I got kind of caught up on Brad Dourif.
I looked that up just recently too. Damn it. It's Ragtime.
Oh, I've never seen that.
No, I haven't either. We got to talk about Brad Dourif a lot.
God. I'm just barely scraping the... Been in a lot of stuff. The Prophecy 3. Okay, better just click off of it because Prophecy 3.
Yeah, there were 3 of them. I don't remember.
I know. I just keep saying that like a mental patient, but
and Giancarlo's done a lot of TV stuff.
Mm-hmm.
A ton of TV stuff. Homicide: Life on the Street, 22 episodes. Girls Club, never seen it, 9 episodes. 5 Days to Midnight, no idea what that is. TV miniseries.
DuckTales.
One just we brought up recently, which we did mention him. He was in Chupacabra Terror with John Rhys Davies. Yes.
Well, now I'll watch it. I was kind of joking before when I said I'd watch it.
He was in Sherry Baby, which I think is where Maggie Gyllenhaal got her real big start.
Huh.
That's probably the first time she showed her boobs or something. I don't know.
Interesting. Is there a Carlito's Way video game or something?
No, there was
That
a
is
sequel.
a sequel with Sean Puffy Combs in it.
Yes.
Although, it does have Luis Guzman in it, which I will watch anything with him in it. He makes everything. He's another deep dive guy that we've got to talk about.
I have so many different things open because of my my freaking Goratorium.
We derailed on Giancarlo Esposito because we hit the Carlito's Way sequel.
He was in The Usual Suspects.
Yeah. What was he? Just a cop? Because I don't remember.
I thought he was a cop. It looks like in the pictures he was wearing like some scrubs and he had a surgical mask around his neck. So I wondered, was he coroner, something like that? Maybe. I'm not positive. It's been a minute since I've watched that.
Yeah, me too.
But once I saw the picture of him, I was like, oh yeah, I can see him now. Yep. But his credits just go on and on. That really threw me off about the Changeling.
Yeah, that makes me want to go and find him in that. He did an episode of Drunk History.
Oh,
which
awesome.
I do like that show.
He was in Nothing to Lose, which was Martin Lawrence and Tim Robbins.
Oh, gotcha.
I did not know that was written and directed by Steve Odekirk.
Man.
And everybody should know Steve Odekirk because of Kung Pao Enter the Fist.
Oh, right. For a moment, I thought you were talking about Bob Odenkirk. Got very confused.
Well, it's because I was on Breaking Bad a minute ago.
Well, yeah, and also he's in Better Call Saul, too. Giancarlo is.
Steve Odekirk did all the Thumb movies, and I just saw here, it looks like last year he put out Thumb Wars 9, The Thighs of Sky Skipper. I've got to find that.
Yeah, I might actually have to look that up. It's so weird that you'd bring that up because I was looking at some Kung Fu stuff and Kung Pao kind of came to mind and I watched a little bit of it. It still makes me giggle.
Oh, it's an awesome film. Steve Odekirk, he's done a lot of writing.
Yeah.
He did Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls.
Right. He wrote that?
He wrote that.
Okay. The sequel to... Wait a minute. Is that the sequel or the first movie?
Oh, he directed it as well. It's a sequel.
No, I did not even know that at the time that we were watching his Thumb movie. I didn't realize. Have we watched the Blair Thumb? Because I don't...
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember that
Yes,
one.
you do.
Okay.
She goes to pick up his wallet, and he's like, thief! I'm still so glad it's not me.
Right. Yes, okay.
Yeah, I've got all of these.
Oh, those are pretty great. Thumbtanic.
Mm-hmm.
Bat Thumb.
I've got them all. Frankenthumb was the last one in 2002. So he really got his shit going with Evan
Almighty.
I thought he wrote the first one too. Yeah, Bruce Almighty. He wrote Bruce Almighty and then wrote Evan Almighty after that.
Oh, Nutty Professor 2.
Cowboys versus Aliens.
I for sure at the time did not know that. I mean, I just knew him as the guy from Kung Pao.
Yeah. But no, very talented. Very funny.
That is pretty cool. Still waiting for the sequel to Kung Pao.
Would absolutely love it.
We were so sure that it was going to be like in the next couple of years, and then
10 years later,
going back to Giancarlo, he's in the new Stephen King. What am I trying to think of? I can't. Creepshow. Sorry,
he was in Creepshow, which was Gray Matter.
Yes,
I really enjoyed that.
Oh
one
yeah,
too.
I did too. It was very gross, which it deserved to be, but I was worried that it wasn't going to be gross enough, and then it was.
There was a recent Harley Quinn cartoon.
Okay.
In which he played Lex Luthor.
Oh, interesting.
The voice.
Because he's bald?
Yes. It's not because of his actual voice. It's because he's bald. Yes.
Well,
very good.
Sometimes you gotta, if the head fits, you know what I'm saying? I feel like we missed a big opportunity. I did not know that there was a Creep Show holiday special. This one from 2020. I'm looking at it right now and it looks amazing. God, that was just a missed opportunity.
I'm sad now. Thank you for making me sad.
I know, me too. There are a couple of wild screenshots from that episode. Looks amazing.
Oh, yeah. So Giancarlo doesn't have a lot in his trivia, but it did say at one point he was roommates with Lawrence Fishburne.
Okay.
So,
well,
very interesting.
That is interesting.
Here it's reading, it says, one of the chorus of the children who sang the theme song of the Electric Company, 1971.
Okay.
So he was a screaming kid in the background.
Gotcha.
Yeah. He is from Denmark.
Yeah, I was born in Denmark. I wouldn't have guessed that in a million years.
Full name, Giancarlo Giuseppe Alessandro Esposito.
All of those are different, like, nationalities.
Nationalities?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that is so interesting. Born to an Italian carpenter stagehand father from Naples, Italy, and an African-American opera singer mother from Alabama. That is the most...
That's right.
Just incredible. Fluent in Italian and Spanish. I'm just going to read his, just the cool shit that he can do.
He's pretty short. He's only 5'7.5".
Man, all these actors are little.
Except the ones that were in Dukes of Hazzard.
Except the ones that are big. Let's make that the tagline for this episode.
But you were never a big fan of Better Call Saul or Breaking Bad, were you?
I've never seen either one of those. I've heard they're great.
They are great.
I see Giancarlo in a fedora. I assume all of the cast members in Breaking Bad end up in a fedora at some point, and that interests me.
That alone. I like seeing women in fedoras sometimes. So hat-wise, Breaking Bad would be a home run for me, but I just haven't had the time. There was a movie called Stardust in 1998.
Yeah, is that the one with Robert De Niro in a dress?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. This is Charlie's dad invents a microchip that can be used for evil purposes. So Charlie finds the chip and implants it into a vacuum cleaner named Stardust.
Oh, God. Did you just make that up?
It sounds like it. How does something like this get made?
Did the vacuum cleaner even have a receptacle or like a... How do you insert it into a vacuum cleaner?
You'll have to watch it, I guess.
Oh, God. Oh, I'm looking at it right now. It looks insane.
All right. Enough of that.
I am clicking off that with extreme prejudice.
All right. Giancarlo was also in Monkey Bone.
Is that a video game?
No, it's Brendan Fraser, Bridget Fonda, John Turturro, Chris Kattan, Rose McGowan, Dave Foley, Bob Odenkirk, Whoopi Goldberg.
Is it animated? I
of
vaguely remember.
Maybe?
I want to say there's a video game that goes along with it or something. What year was that?
2001.
I'm looking at this, and then that's it. I'm breaking my computer, and...
That's it? Okay.
Moving on.
Anyway, just wanted to bring up Giancarlo Esposito. His career is going really strong right now. I think he's a solid actor.
Yeah, for sure. He's great in everything. I love Do the Right Thing. I've seen that so many times. He delivers a lot of really like fast dialogue in that, and he's great. Yeah, and he has a cool name. One of the most amazing backgrounds, seeing as how he's Danish and Italian, and there's that story where he put a thing in a vacuum cleaner. What were you talking about earlier? That's the only thing that I took away from that. Yes. Is a sentient vacuum.
1998 family film.
Wow.
Yeah.
Strange. Very strange.
He was in a TV series called Creature. Never heard of this. An amphibious, shark-like monster terrorizes an abandoned secret military base and the people who live there on the island it's located on. A marine biologist, as well as several other people, try to stop it before it's too late. It's called Creature. Craig T. Nelson.
Oh,
Kim Cattrall.
Oh yeah, I remember that. It's
Dude,
it's the same guy that wrote Jaws. Peter Benchley.
that would be awesome.
Wait, yes, Peter Benchley screenplay. Thank God.
Awesome.
I feel like that was everything was real touch and go for a second until I saw that. But yeah, that I think I've read that before. It's like a giant octopus or something, isn't it?
It says shark.
You just said it's like a sharktopus or something.
Yeah, it's shark-like monster. It says Giancarlo Esposito played Lieutenant Thomas Penston and werewolf.
Wait, what?
Exactly. So it kind of threw me off when I saw the shark thing.
Yeah. And a werewolf?
Yeah.
That seems very unlikely to have a fish monster and a werewolf in the same movie. Can you think of a movie that has a fish monster in it?
Not at all.
Hey, do you know NECA? I think it's NECA figures. Mm-hmm. They make like
Love 'em,
movies.
Yes.
Have you seen the figure for Robert Shaw from Jaws?
No.
Of Quint?
Oh.
It is amazing. You could do a stop motion movie and would not know that it is not the real Robert Shaw. It is
That's
so
awesome.
badass. I want to make a little like Jaws
a diorama.
Diorama with the orca and all that.
Awesome. I would dig that.
I'm going to get to work on that.
I actually saw, I went to Target the other day looking for some crap and got trapped. They have actually a lot of the NECA action figures from that. They have a new line for Friday the 13th that are awesome.
Just so detailed.
Just very detailed. They had a Halloween 3, which has the 3 kids with the different masks.
Okay.
It's awesome.
I'm looking all
of these are like $29.99 a piece, though. They have a whole line of Gremlins.
Oh, cool.
Which actually have the one that's the streaker, the one with the trench coat.
Yes, that's my favorite.
And it has the little hand puppet that does the
me. Oh my God. Part 2 is the best movie ever.
The girl gremlin hat is, I didn't see it there or I would have picked it up, but it's out there.
Does she have a name?
I have no idea. Somebody chime in and let us know. Call her on the line.
Yeah, we can't do all of that. Oh, okay. I'm looking at them on Amazon now, and I am like, I'm for sure buying the Herbert West action figure.
Oh, it's awesome.
Oh
yes.
Okay. All right. I got to stop. Spend all my money.
Let's wrap it up on Giancarlo.
Okay.
We will see him again.
Oh, he'll be orbiting around.
Right now he's 62 years old, so.
Yeah, he's looking a little gray. But other than that, pretty much same he's looked forever.
Exactly.
I have to say this NECA Ash from Evil Dead 2.
I have not seen that.
It comes with his girlfriend's head. It comes with a reel-to-reel tape.
Oh my gosh.
Thing. It comes with the Necronomicon. It comes with his hand. It has 3 extra hands, all in different... it has the completely disembodied one. It has the evil one still attached to his arm.
Mm-hmm.
It has a stump with a rag over it that you can put in place. I mean...
No, it looks awesome. I'm looking at it right now.
I have to have it.
Mm-hmm.
I also ordered a Evil Dead baseball T-shirt from, or whatever they call those, kind of a half sleeve.
Right. 3/4 sleeve.
3/4 sleeve Evil Dead shirt from Fright Rags. And
that is sweet.
Oh, it's so cool.
I put our design for our latest T-shirt on TeePublic.
Mm-hmm.
I was just checking them out. I can't adjust anything on TeePublic. Where I went with Teespring, I can adjust the prices and make them as cheap as I want to and make zero profit, which Guys, buy a T-shirt.
Please, that's what I'm trying to say.
What I'm trying to say is... But yeah, we have some 3/4 sleeve shirts, baseball shirts out there in that line on TeePublic.
I did not I probably would have had one of those already if I had known that.
You might have to look at that.
I might have to, since I am vaguely attached to that. So the movie that we're going to watch next week and my deep dive are kind of connected. So do you want me to reveal what it is at the end of mine, and then you still have a segment, or how do you...
If you want me to go into my Goratorium and then you can just do your rollout?
Let's do that.
Okay. All right. Well, for my Goratorium entry this week, I watched another Video Nasty. All right. And some of these early Video Nasties, and I wonder, because most of this list came out in the 80s, right? Mm-hmm. How did they pick some of these movies
and not others? Yeah,
that were very lame by gory standards.
Right.
Maybe I'll say
yes,
that.
I see what you're saying. That they just don't, like, how would that influence anybody because it's just silly?
It just seemed like the nature of some of these films were... they were almost knockoffs.
Right.
But, I don't know, or maybe they were trailblazers and the others were knockoffs. I don't know. This is 1974. What do you expect from a lot of horror movies in 1974? That was right around the time of home invasion movies that were coming in and cannibal movies that were coming in.
Yes.
So we get a lot of the same almost style.
Right. The Italians were really pushing the limits of what you could, Cannibal Holocaust.
But I watched 1974 Axe.
Oh.
AXE. And at first I thought it was Edge of the Axe, which if you remember that is a very prolific box that we had in the video store. This I had never seen before.
Yeah. Hang on, I'm trying to get to it. Gosh dang it.
It's one of those, you type in Axe, you're going to get all sorts of stuff. You're going to get Axl Rose before you find this Axe.
Okay, it does have a kick-ass cover.
Oh, yeah.
Or art.
The art may be the best thing about this film.
Yeah.
Okay. Axe reads, 3 criminals on a murderous spree arrive at a farmhouse where a young girl is living with her paralyzed grandfather. That's it. That's what you got. It.
So this is post Last House on the Left, or I Spit on Your Grave, or does this come first?
Right about the same time. Let's look those up real quick. What do you got?
Let's see.
I'll go for Spit on the Grave. How about that?
Spit on Your... Wait, I've already got us. Wait, I got Last House on the Left too. It was in 1972, so 2 years before.
Okay. So right around the same time.
Yeah, that must have been a... you're right, though. Like, it was very... There were a ton of those. Like, oh my God, I'm losing my mind. House on the Edge of the Park? Is that what I'm thinking of? Or when Funny Games came. I think Funny Games was way later.
That was much later, yeah. The French version.
Straw Dogs? I don't remember what year that was.
That was in the early 70s, too.
Straw Dogs is pretty disturbing.
Straw Dogs was 71.
I want to... Is that the first, like, kind of... But that one was, like, legit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that was Sam Peckinpah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Dustin Hoffman, Susan George, and that's why we know Susan George.
Right.
So, very, very gritty film. Mm-hmm. This one, not so gritty.
Yeah.
It was like the music score behind it was they got a drummer from a jazz band who was basically just playing it live and just doing the...
Right. Didn't we've done another movie like that where those Italian movies, they get practically funky sometimes with and there's like horrible things going on, and it's like,
yeah, it would have been better with a string instrument to get the feeling, but it was just
yeah.
I mean,
give us some more of that.
I don't know how much more I've got. Axe was written and directed by Frederick R. Friedel,
Okay.
who also starred in the film as Billy.
Okay.
If you look at the photos there, the number one photo is
That's him.
Frederick Friedel,
Yeah.
which looks like he has, they fashioned the beard and the hair out of the same dog.
Oh, yeah. He's like a Labradoodle kind of.
Exactly.
Yeah, I see it. That's a wig, right?
It has to be.
Oh, I hate playing that game in the 70s because most of the time, guess what? That is their real hair. Well, like Date with the Kidnapper. I see a pattern forming, Frederick Friedel, you creep.
I will be bringing that up here in just a minute because I watched the trailer for that. So the three characters, the three that are on a murderous spree, is Ray Green, Frederick Friedel, and Jack Cannon.
Okay, those all sound like totally real names.
This kind of breaks into a slow open. They are hanging out in this, it looked like maybe a hotel room, a motel room, or just an apartment. I don't know, waiting for the guy to come home, and they kind of jump him.
Okay.
Why do they jump him? I don't know. I kind of tuned it out at first. It didn't really get going very fast.
Probably doesn't
The worst
matter.
scene in that, when they were trying to torture this guy and kill him, is because one of the guys played by Ray Green always has this big ass dog turd of a cigar hanging out of his mouth. And, they even make fun of it. Jack Cannon was like, yeah, you like the smell of that cigar? I tell him all the time, that sinks up the place. What, does he put it out? No, he doesn't. Just...
Ugh.
Anyway, they takes that cigar and he shoves it in the guy's mouth. Okay, but trick of the camera, it has the hand coming towards the camera with the cigar, and then jump cut the guy's hand like inside of his mouth, basically. For the next minute, you see him just like pushing his hand inside the guy's mouth, and just it's
That's
gross.
So
It is
gross. I mean, and you guys can't see, but he is a big, like doughy, like Vic Tayback looking dude.
Mm-hmm.
Very jowly. Why do you think the director just had a vision of that? He just was like, I've gotta, or was it kind of imitating sort of like, you know what I'm talking about?
No.
He was basically raping that guy's face with a cigar, is what I'm saying.
That's gross. These guys, they're in suits, which kind of made me think of Pulp Fiction.
Okay.
Because our bad guys our hitmen were in suits, It just made me think of that. On their murderous rampage or whatever they're doing, they end up going to a convenience store that is, there's the girl in it. Her name is Carol Miller,
Okay.
who is the store clerk, and she's also in Date with a Kidnapper, and we'll talk about her in a minute as well. But she only has a few credits. She was actually a lot older than she seemed, but she just basically stood behind the counter and was just like, take anything you want. You can have it. Just, spare my life or what.
Yeah.
So they go over and, like careless hitmen on the run, decide to start taking fruit from the fruit basket, throwing it up while the other guy is trying to shoot it in the air. Okay, we don't see any fruit exploding or anything like that. You just see it from their point of view. He's throwing it, the other guy's shooting. That goes on for a good 5 minutes, and it was just, it's just strange. I don't know.
I mean, that seemed, if they had like younger actors doing the same thing, maybe that would have seemed better, but old pasty guys in suits.
Yeah.
That doesn't make a lot of sense.
It's strange.
Yeah.
So they did get the girl and get her to kneel down in front of the coolers or whatever and put a tomato on her head.
Okay.
So now you got a slow scene of the guy taking 10 paces to turn around and try to shoot the tomato off her head, in which she jiggles a little bit. The tomato falls down.
Yeah.
He walks slowly back up to her, picks up the tomato, puts it back on her head, takes 10 more paces, turns around, the tomato's fallen, but he shoots anyway. And it happens to hit the ketchup bottles above her that spread the blood down her, the ketchup on her face, which you see in her picture.
Yeah. Well, what is ketchup but the blood of a tomato?
That's right. Thank you, Jason, for putting everything in perspective.
Well, I hate those long scenes of just like, that just sounds awful.
It's pretty boring.
Yes, boring.
They leave the convenience store and somehow end up at this farmhouse.
Okay.
It's just strange. So Leslie Lee plays the daughter. All right. The granddaughter. I'm sorry. The grandfather is played by Douglas Powers. What has he been in? This.
Right.
You know, this is a lot of probably the Frederick Friedel's friends that just came together to do this movie.
Exactly.
And which Jack Cannon and Ray Green work with him again. But anyway, Leslie Lee, who is known for nothing really. She has 3 credits in her name. The third credit actually is Bloody Brothers, which I don't think is real. Bloody Brothers is also written and directed by Frederick Friedel and has the exact same characters in this film with the exact same names.
Right. And yes, that one says 2007.
Yeah. I don't think it's real.
Or maybe it's just a re-release of this movie.
Maybe so. That would probably fare as a
although there is
assumption.
A poster for it. It says it's got that girl and it's got that doughy guy like limping towards her, and it says separated at birth. They were drawn together on a day of terror.
That synopsis is totally different than what could come from this story.
Interesting. I don't know. Frederick Friedel.
So this girl, it shows her just, she's on this farmhouse out in the middle of nowhere. She beheads a chicken. Let's set up the axe part.
Right.
Her grandfather, he doesn't move. He's in a chair.
Uh-huh.
He doesn't speak. You see his eyes move a little bit. Must be the greatest acting job ever.
He's brilliant. He's a method actor.
Anyway, basically these 3 guys come in and just take over the house and just smack her around a bit.
Right.
Fix me some dinner. We're just going to hang out here. This is a great place to hang out and be on the lam. Well, you weren't really trying to hide or anything when you go to a convenience store and start shooting up the place.
Right.
And then kill the clerk. I think they killed the clerk. I don't remember. Not important.
That sort of sounds like From Dusk Till Dawn, too. They were in suits and they were...
Yeah.
Just,
in the convenience store. Yeah. And doing it. Yeah. It seems very reminiscent.
Interesting.
Lomax, who played by Ray Green, he's the cigar smoker.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he gets up in the middle of the night and he decides that he wants to rape this girl, in which, you know, he's all over her. She reaches over and pulls out this straight razor and basically just cuts at the back of his neck until he dies on top of her. Okay.
Okay.
She then drags his body. The other 2 are asleep in the house somewhere, but she drags this body into the bathroom, into the bathtub, and cuts it up and puts it into a trunk.
Okay. She's a very frail looking girl. Like, do you have a 2-wheeler or something we can strap this guy to? So you can use kind of your body weight to...
It's a little far-fetched, but, you know, she's scrappy.
Yeah, I guess. And maybe she's, like, got that adrenaline, like...
But through this, I mean, if you see the picture of her she just looks...
She's like, my head's bleeding.
Yeah, she has no real emotion on her face. This is her throughout the entire film. Very emotionless. That
picture of her with the blood on her face, she kind of looks like Neil from The Young Ones. You know, he has like a totally expressionless face most of the time. Anyway, I don't know if you've looked at this, but on Bloody Brothers, it does have it says Bloody Brothers is the combined footage from 2 separate films by the same director, Frederick R. Friedel.
No, I did not see that. Maybe I should have looked into that a little bit more.
Well, it's kind of sad. It says Frederick lost the rights to his films when he sold them to Harry Novak and never got any money for the release of them. He ended up editing both of the films into one feature-length film and released it under the title Bloody Brothers.
Awesome. Now I kind of want to see that, which we were going to talk about Harry Novak.
Yeah.
Is that what it was? Harry Novak? We were going to talk about him soon.
Yes. Severin Films is who put that out. And it is, you can get Bloody Brothers, and it is the edited together.
Okay. Well, thank you, Jason, for doing more research on my Goratorium than...
I mean, I just clicked a button. I just clicked on trivia, which you could argue is what we're trying to find with this stuff.
So, anyway, Axe... So, after she kills this guy and chops him up and puts him in the trunk, now we get Frederick Friedel, who basically is trying to protect her now.
Okay.
He was enamored by her from the beginning, and she's trying to move this trunk, and he's like, well, here, let me help you with that, and helps carry this trunk with the dead body up into the loft of like the attic.
Right.
And then he notices the blood on it and opens it up and thinks and sees the dead body and doesn't make a connection that she's the one who did it. She's like, well, who did this?
You know, what did he think they were taking up there?
I don't know.
A bunch of potatoes or something?
I guess. It's very, very, not well written. Poorly written.
Well, hey, you know.
It's basically her killing her kidnappers.
Right.
And I don't need to go into great detail how she does it on everybody, but...
Is there any wiener violence?
No.
Not like I spit on your grave?
No wiener violence. But at the end, it does show her... Frederick Friedel comes up and she says she's made soup for him and her grandfather.
Okay.
And it's clearly not tomato soup.
Right.
Okay. She is feeding the grandfather the blood of one of the guys.
Gross.
And Frederick Friedel he sits down and starts eating some of this soup, and he has this, he'll take a little sip of it and has this look on his face like this is some tangy soup. And then takes another lick and takes another bite. And it's like
gross.
3 or 4 times. And yeah,
He's
it's just,
like, wait a minute. This might be, well, I am kind of peckish. I'm not starving, but I am hungry. I would never eat anything fed to me in a old dilapidated farmhouse. That is just one of my very strict rules.
You have your book of rules. That's like number 7.
Yeah,
in that book of rules.
It's in the top 10. That sounds like it's like a story about L. Ron Hubbard or something about mixing like just ketchup packets and water and making a soup. Ugh, that's gross.
Yeah.
Except the ketchup would be blood in this case.
Yes.
I've kind of glossed over that part.
I wanted to do some research on what was the criteria for the video nasties. Yeah, because this didn't seem like it was well over the top of gore and nastiness.
Well,
is it just the depiction of possible cannibalism that led it to this list?
Well, I mean, I think after I spit on your grave, and also probably, gosh, why is my mind blanking? The Wes Craven.
Right. Last House on the Left.
No, Hills Have Eyes. Good Lord. Cut all that out, please. That took me a long time. Well, all I'm saying is that maybe it just got lumped together because the description was the same, even though it's not really as violent as I Spit on Your Grave. Because it does sound like the same plot, basically. And also, I should say that I'm looking at a picture of the cover. What am I on? I'm on the Axe IMDb, but it has 3 different names for the movie all in one screen. So it says California Axe Massacre on the box, which is the one that I remember from the video store. That with her with the hatchet, and they had this to rent at my video store.
Interesting.
But it's under Axe 1974, but then under that it said it's called Lisa Lisa.
Yes, Lisa Lisa.
Apparently without the cult jam.
I
So
was waiting for that joke. I'm like, he's got to say it.
just couldn't wait to get it out.
If you would have missed it, I would have just fired you from the
Yeah,
podcast.
I would.
Firing like I have a choice of who I could do this podcast
I would have done the same to you. A citizens podcast firing. It's for the greater good.
So anyway, just like we wanted to talk about with Frederick Friedel, his movie, which is Date with a Kidnapper, that is also titled Kidnap Coed.
Now got my attention.
It reads, a woman living in a boarding house is kidnapped by a small-time criminal. Soon others in the gang try to take her away from him so they can get the ransom.
So two completely...
Yeah, they just kind of push two different stories together here. But Jack Cannon, he is in this, who is also in Axe.
Okay.
He plays basically her kidnapper. So she's a little rich girl going to school. He kidnaps her. And then all these other guys are trying to get to her and kidnap her because of they want the ransom. So he's now defending her from these other kidnappers.
Okay.
While she's falling in love with him.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
I just watched a trailer for it. It doesn't look half bad. I might be interested in checking it out. It looks like it's available on Amazon. The other one I watched, Axe, is on YouTube. That's where I watched it. And and these are barely full-length features. I mean, Date with a Kidnapper is 1 hour and 16 minutes long.
Right.
I think Axe was like a $1.05 or something like that. It's not much at all. But I was looking at Jack Cannon. Mm-hmm. Jack Cannon, let's circle back around, played Max in Maximum Overdrive.
What? Is that the second Maximum Overdrive
reference today?
So far?
I could make it a third. I'm sure I could swing it back around. But yes, I thought that this is how I got back to Giancarlo and said, holy fuck, I didn't realize he was in this. Jack Cannon was also in Scanners. Okay. He played a hazmat suit worker, uncredited.
Okay.
In Scanners. I thought that was very interesting.
That is interesting.
He's got just a few credits, but I thought for sure I'd know him from Maximum Overdrive, and I could not find a picture of him to figure out who he was.
The person who would be on a date with a kidnapper, it's not the person who is kidnapped, right? Because then they'd just be kidnapped. The date with the kidnapper, you would think, either doesn't know that it's a kidnapper or does know and is okay with that, like for them to go out to eat or something.
They were going out to a movie. She didn't realize he was a kidnapper.
Right. She's like, well, what do you do for a living? Well,
let me call your dad. Let's
Exactly. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
So Maximum Overdrive.
What does that have to do with it? Just has the same guy, Jack Cannon.
I think you buried the lead. He's in Weekend at Bernie's.
Yes.
That's what we should be focusing on.
I'll make this short. What was the guy we just brought up? The producer. Harry Novak.
Okay.
Executive producer, Harry Novak.
Okay.
So he was producing these movies for Frederick Friedel.
Okay.
It's gotta be just a fake name. But if you look at Harry Novak's history, now I'm only going to talk about this for a few minutes or maybe a half hour. Who knows? I think this was, he was very much into sexploitation.
Okay.
Mid-60s, into the 70s. Did The Secret Sex Lives of Romeo and Juliet.
Ew.
The Girl with the Hungry Eyes.
Ugh.
The Girl with the Hungry Eyes, 1969. Two lesbians are obsessed with each other. Yeah, that's what you got.
It was made in 69?
Yeah.
Ugh. Well, I mean, that's a home run.
How about Booby Trap, 1970? A crazed military explosive expert heads for Los Angeles with an RV full of explosives, intending to blow up a rock festival and kill all the hippies.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, I'm certainly for that.
Damn hippies. The Exotic Dreams of Casanova.
Okay. Settle down, everybody.
How about Midnight Plowboy?
Wow. What could that possibly be about?
Toys Are Not for Children, 1972.
Well, that sounds disgusting, too.
Yes, it does. It reads, emotionally stunted child woman Jamie Goddard not only suffers from an unhealthy fixation on her long absent father. I'm not reading any further.
Yeah.
Emotionally stunted. I'm going to use that from now on.
Yep. You should.
1973, Please Don't Eat My Mother. And this sounds familiar. How about a middle-aged man buys a plant with a sexy voice that develops a craving for insects, frogs, dogs, and humans? Sounds familiar, doesn't it?
It sounds like my biography.
Oh my God. If you look at some of the pictures, they did not even try. I mean, when it's bad when you're trying to rip off Roger Corman.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what I was going to say earlier is like, that seems like the plot of like a biker movie, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But then when you throw like doughy guys in suits, it just, it's not making it better. It doesn't sound exciting.
No.
As exciting.
There are a few other things in here that seem suspicious. How about sexual kung fu in Hong Kong?
Okay.
Teenage Bride. Not going to read it.
I'm pretty sure.
This guy's in jail.
What year was that?
1974. Yes, these were very much porns.
Huh. Man, you can't even find that.
How about Wham Bam Thank You Spaceman?
Okay.
You like that one?
I don't, but
Yeah.
it's better.
Then there's the one I wanted to come to called Rattlers.
I've seen Rattlers.
Have you?
Yes.
I have not. And it reads, a herpetologist
Hey, watch your mouth.
investigating a series of fatal rattlesnakes. And I was like, wait a minute. Herpetologist?
Don't. I mean, yeah, it does sound like something else.
just leave it out there. I think I've seen this too because some of these pictures look familiar.
Well, I'll tell you, Sam Chu Jr.,
Mm-hmm.
he's in a movie called Being from Another Planet as kind of like an asshole college dean or something. But it also has James Cameron is like the kind of runs the college.
So let me finish reading this off
Okay.
because Rattlers, 1976, a herpetologist investigating a series of fatal rattlesnake attacks discovers that the creatures have been infected by a mysterious nerve gas disposed of in the desert by the military.
Yep. That is what happens.
I dig it.
Yeah. Within the first 5 minutes of the movie, I think a little kid takes a sip of beer and then 2 under 10-year-olds get bitten to death by rattlesnakes.
Bitten like as in multiple bites, just
Yes.
continues strikes until they're just,
Well,
yeah.
I think you're meant to, you hear the rattle noise
Mhm.
and you hear the kids screaming. You do not see a snake. It might cut to like stock footage of a snake, but there's nobody around them, you know, there's not a real snake involved.
I remember this bathtub scene,
Yes, when they start kind of pouring through the drain hole.
the overflow.
Yes. I just happened to see this. One of the guards at the military place in Rattlers is Darwin Jostin. who was the main character in
Assault on Precinct 13.
Assault on Precinct 13.
Wow, he was also in The Fog.
His name was Napoleon Wilson. Oh, yeah, Dr. Phibes. Oh, yeah, right. I love Assault on Precinct 13. It's a great action movie.
I did not mind the remake.
I don't think I ever saw it. With Lawrence Fishburne.
I think Ethan Hawke's in it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. So, Rattlers. Harry Novak also did a movie called The Child.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like an Italian horror film.
It might be,
A newly hired housekeeper arrives to her employer's house in the countryside. She slowly discovers that the only thing in the house is an 11-year-old girl that hides a deadly secret. Okay.
Great.
The box art says, "Let's play hide and go kill."
That seems like they could have found something better for that.
Mm-hmm. I was interested in this. But I think you can probably figure out that the girl is a zombie, I believe. I think there was another title of this film was like Zombie Child or something like that.
That I like.
Harry Novak dipped his toes in pornography for quite some time and then came back with a couple of actually interesting looking films.
I bet that was hard not to do in the 70s. To have your movie just become a softcore porn. Like that was always threatening to burst out.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe they found that the girls that were in these porns, even these softcore porns, were more up to doing more films that were trying to push the boundaries.
Right. More.
And not just the boundaries of
their bras. I don't know.
I'm going to discontinue that talk. Harry Novak, Rattlers.
We hardly knew.
Frederick Friedel.
All of them should be ashamed of themselves, I think is what you're trying to say, for being just disgusting pigs in the 70s.
I think that we grew up at the right time. So we were born in the 70s and raised in the 80s.
Right.
Everybody in the 70s, they should be ashamed of themselves.
Yes. Yes, they should. They should apologize to their families, especially their wives.
All right. Well, what do you got for me? Break it down.
I feel like we have just been on Robitussin the entire time because we have talked about so much. I mean, we usually do, but we have gotten off on such weird things.
Mm-hmm.
Action figures? I might have brought that up.
I can't wait to go back and talk more.
Well, so I'm glad that little dreamlike segment that we just did lasted this long because it was kind of a last minute thing. My all of the decisions that I've made about this today. So when I was trying to figure out which movie to do, I was having a hard time. I don't know. Like I said, I pick these completely randomly. And I had started watching the movie that I wanted to do next week. Just at random. I don't know. I just saw it and kind of clicked on it. And, it's...
and then got trapped for an hour. And
I was like, is there even possibly a way that we can get to it? And surprisingly...
it was way easier than you thought.
It was a little easier than I thought. Because... Jurgen Prochnow. Are we saying Jurgen?
We get everybody's name wrong anyway. Even the easy names I have trouble with.
Yeah. Well, we're from Oklahoma. We don't know complicated names. That's why this seemed like just I should for sure do this movie because it was so easy to get to from the Keep. Jurgen Prochnow is in The Replacement Killers, movie that I remember from, what was that, 90s?
I think it was like 97. Are you going straight into your movie or going straight into your... They all just trip over each other.
I need to get to my guy from the movie.
Replacement Killers was 1998.
Wow.
Which was Chow Yun-fat and Mira Sorvino, Michael Rooker, Jürgen Prochnow.
Is that John Woo?
No, this is Anton Fuqua. Fuqua. I know this guy from something. What do I know him from? God, he's directed 71 things. Oh, which were music videos for Tony Braxton.
That's what I know him from.
Coolio, Stevie Wonder.
Oh, that's interesting.
He directed Training Day.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I forgot that Scott Glenn was in that. There's another easy connection. Yeah.
See, that's what that just reinforces my idea that I made the right choice.
Yeah.
Clifton Collins Jr. is in Replacement Killers, so really like that guy.
And what was he from?
And Till Schweiger, guy from Inglourious Bastards.
Clifton Collins Jr. Oh, right. I love him.
Yeah.
You got to see his face.
Yep. Yeah, dude, he's been in everything.
Rules of Attraction, Tigerland.
His first credit is Freddy's Nightmares,
I saw that.
Anthology stuff.
Danny Trejo was also in Replacement Killers, by the way.
Okay, so Chow Yun-fat from Replacement Killers, he was in one of his first movies, or one of his first action movies with John Woo was Hard Boiled.
Right.
If you have not seen this movie, or if you have not seen this movie lately, you must watch it. I just watched it this morning, and I don't know if I had become jaded by all of because when John Woo, this is one of his first action movies, and everybody, after he just exploded, everyone tried to steal his, kind of filmmaking.
The style.
Yes, his style. And Hard Boiled is like, it should just be called Squibs, because the entire movie is just an orgy of violence. If I see another cash register explode, or, like everything in a small, hospital cafeteria just has like TNT in it, But anyway, and just the way that the action is choreographed is really amazing. And a lot of those scenes, I just can't imagine filming that and blocking it all and having it all just work out. I mean, there's just so much going on at the same time. And
you mentioned, as you said, it was one of his first action films.
Right.
I mean, he's been in Japan forever. 1968 was when he got his start, but he was doing martial arts movies in 74 with the Young Dragons.
Yeah, I guess they were...
But looks like he's had a lot of fun making some martial arts films back in the day.
Right.
He directed Hard Target. John Woo, I directed Hard Target.
He definitely,
I don't think I really knew that.
Yes. You didn't see all there are doves in that movie. I mean...
And slow motion dives shooting off to the side. Yeah.
Yep. Classic. Hard Boiled was in 92. Hard Target was in 93.
You're right. I just saw that.
Okay, yes. His first big action movie was A Better Tomorrow. That was the first time that he and Chow Yun-fat teamed up.
Okay.
So then Better Tomorrow 2, I don't know a lot about, but The Killer, I guess probably was... I mean, we could look at the box office for these, but they used to sell The Killer and Hard Boiled in the same kind of two-pack of DVDs.
Right.
I don't know if that's the same character or not. But anyway, so in order to... And John Woo, he's in Face Off, Mission Impossible 2... His action scenes are amazing. Still amazing.
Oh, yes.
So, in Hard Boiled...
Which Hard Boiled, was there was another movie called Hard Boiled Brothers, did I see?
I don't know about that. I know that eggs sometimes are hard boiled, but brothers?
Hard-Boiled Killers, 1980, Chow Yun-Fat.
Well, maybe he was in his own ripoff movie. Was it a John Woo movie?
No, it wasn't a John Woo. It was a Feng Wong.
Okay. If you're not going to be able to say any of these names without giggling, then we're going to stop right now.
How about Chu Kua?
How about Philip Chung Fung Kwok? Okay, you're going to have to edit all of this out. Every episode that we do after this, I'm going to say, by the way, Tim giggled when I said Chung Fung Kwok. Like a little kid. Anyway, there is a character in Hard Boiled called Mad Dog. And out of all these like disposable bad guys kind of, and all these crooked cops, he is like a hardcore, he's just an assassin. And when he shows up, you're just like, holy shit, this dude is fucking for real. He is not a good looking dude. His face is...
I'm still trying to find him.
He's probably 5th or 6th down on the cast for Hard Boiled.
Okay. Philip Chung Fung
Go
Kwok.
ahead and say it. Good. You did it.
And he was also in Brotherhood of the Wolf?
Yeah, Brotherhood of... Now, if you'll notice, it says additional crew. His thing, Philip Kwok, is his bio sounds a lot like Jackie Chan. He was a circus acrobat and worked in the Peking Opera, which is what Jackie Chan did also. Mm-hmm. And that just translated into stunt work, you know, because that's basically what they were doing anyway. And martial arts movies. And I don't know, I've read Jackie Chan's biography. I don't remember, it seems like martial arts. A lot of these guys were just kind of faking it, you know, but then, you know, when they started choreographing these like giant, like minutes long action sequences, these guys were acrobats, martial artists, stuntmen, fight choreographers. Mm-hmm. I mean, they just did everything. And this guy was one of those guys. He
awesome.
When it says additional crew, I just assume that he was a stunt coordinator or a fight choreographer.
His stunt credits go on and on as well.
Yes.
Is this your deep dive guy?
Yeah, he kind of turned into my deep dive guy.
Okay.
Because he is he's the one that links us to the movie. But yeah, man. Okay, so I was kind of going to do a little breakdown of kung fu movies, but I think that is I'm just going to come up with that a little later. For now, all you need to know is this guy was in a lot of Shaw Brothers kung fu movies in the kind of early 70s.
Are we looking at his first one as Dynamite Brothers?
Which, that looks fucking awesome.
Blazing Stewardesses?
Yes. I mean, God, we're going to have to do just a big, long exploitation, sexploitation, blaxploitation couple of episodes.
Exploitations of exploitations. Did you realize in Dynamite Brothers also had James Hong in it?
I'm looking at his face right now. Oh, I recognize a couple of people. Yeah. We'll have to, okay. So yes, tabling Dynamite Brothers. But the first, I want to say his first big hit as an actor was in Five Deadly Venoms.
Okay. Is this one that you had?
Yes.
I want to say we've watched this.
Okay, now that was in 78. I jumped the gun here. Now, Shaolin Temple, I think also came out in 76. That one was popular.
Well, you got a lot of stuff like Hand of Death.
Yeah, well,
which was a John Woo film.
Right.
1976.
This is why we can't do this now, because it's going to be another 3 hours. But we will come back and do a more thorough investigation. I mean, we're going to come back and do a bunch of these kung fu movies. I got my eye on Master of the Flying Guillotine, which is
awesome.
You know, I think Tarantino, I don't think he released this on that, gosh, what were those?
Right, I remember when he was buying up all these and producing them or re-releasing
them.
Right.
Rolling Thunder is what the
Correct.
company was called. But yeah, he did The Mighty Peking Man, which was basically like Chinese King Kong. And we'll come back to a lot of this, but...
do you know that episode's going to have this huge disclaimer about how...
You giggling at names.
Our mispronunciation and subsequent giggling of the pronunciation.
If we can get through it, I applaud us for our future taking this very seriously.
Right. That's what we're known for.
Anyway, so Five Deadly Venoms, pretty much just a must-watch Shaw Brothers kung fu movie. I want to say that this is one of their first real, like, super successful movies. I could be wrong. But anyway, so Philip Kwok, he was basically the main character in Five Deadly Venoms. And they've got, he's got this, like, awful kind of crepe paper mustache. The fight scenes in that are amazing, and it's a group of fighters that each have their own special style and like special ability, if we want to talk about like Mortal Kombat type things.
Right. The Five Deadly Venoms, I gotta say, there's a guy by the name of Dick Wee.
Okay, now you got me. Was that a setup? Were you setting me up for that?
He plays the master. I didn't say that the director's name is Cha-Chang.
Ooh. Wait a minute. Okay. I have to be very careful here. Okay, now I see what you did there, and you really had to strain to make that work. So you're doing a lot of this.
Yes, I am.
Okay, here we'll make a new rule. If the like Dick Wee, that's funny. And I think he would say that's funny once we explained it all to him. But when you have to really like bend over backwards to get to... Did you say how did you say that again?
Cha-chang.
I mean, it is funny, but let's try to minimize those moments.
All right.
You're right, though. There's one guy called Wee Wang. Okay. We're like Beavis and Butthead. Let's just get it all out now, and then we won't.
I can't help it.
But anyway, so a lot of these movies, I would say they kind of have similar plots. Well, that's unfair. But this one is like their master was killed, so they basically are kind of. This kind of turns it on its head. I'll read the synopsis. The final student of a dying martial arts master is instructed to locate the previous 5 students and defeat any evil ones among them. I guess what they're getting at is one of them like betrayed the teacher or something, and he's trying to get to the bottom of it. So,
okay. Notice it shows different animal species.
Yes. There's a scorpion, there's a snake, a frog, a centipede. What else we got?
And maybe this is where Tarantino comes back with, Kill Bill and giving them...
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
he had a lot of influence through these films.
Yes. The movie that we're eventually going to get to for next week is... It was made in the 90s for one thing, and all the golden age of all these movies were, early 70s, mid 70s. They kind of started dying off by the 80s. I think maybe because of John Woo a little bit, where these kung fu movies were giving way to more like, hard-boiled cop, lots of gun battles and stuff like that. So I think, they were kind of transitioning into that type of action movie. Not to say that those movies don't have they do have a lot of good hand-to-hand fights in them too, but basically just a lot of like everything flying through the air, even the actors in slow motion and shooting at the same time, preferably with 2 guns.
Yes.
You could shoot 2 guns and have another gun on your back, like a shotgun. There's a lot of different ways you could do it.
but they're a lot of fun.
Oh, man. Like I said, Hard Boiled really... I mean, he changed a lot about Hollywood also. This should be a John Woo deep dive, but it's not. But, I mean, he has a signature style that I think a lot of other directors kind of tried to replicate. But
oh, yeah.
Some of the camera work in Hard Boiled is just amazing. I can't imagine that there wasn't like an eye wash station or something at that movie where like everybody had candy glass and the shit from the squibs exploding. I mean, they fight in like a cafeteria or something in this one. And I mean, everything is exploding. The walls are exploding. The cash register, money is floating through the air.
And all in slow motion.
All in beautiful slow motion. But anyway, Philip Kwok, Mad Dog, he ends up with a patch over his eye. He has a cool, like sharpshooter. I'm not exactly sure what gun. It looks like he has a pistol grip gun, but with a rifle round, you know, like it's a short.
Interesting.
It's like a sawed off rifle, basically.
Philip Kwok, one of his last films here, 2004, was the sequel to The Eye.
Yeah, is that like The Ring or something, like a paranormal? I saw that.
Do you remember The Eye? They had a Americanized version, which sucked ass, but
yeah, that sounds right.
This one was after a failed suicide attempt, a pregnant woman gains the ability to see ghosts.
Oh, I've actually seen this movie. I remember. Any names in the cast you want to make fun of before we move on?
Yeah, always. But I'll refrain. I'll just say, bless you.
Yes. Gesundheit. There is a Chinese actor named Pierre. So
moving on. Philip Kwok was also in a movie called The Cat, 1992. It was a novel, The Old Cat. A cat from outer space teams up with a young alien girl and her knight, along with an adventure novelist named Wisely, to fight a murderous alien that possesses people.
That sounds like it's just been run through Google Translate, because here in a sec, okay, it just breezes right by young alien girl and her knight. Like, well, you know, young alien girls have knights.
You can see how the 90s family type movies. This doesn't even look like a family type movie. This is action horror sci-fi.
Yes.
But it reads like
Sabrina the Teenage Witch or something.
Yeah.
I like all of that.
So let's get on to our movie then. You want to talk more about Philip Kwok before we move on?
At some point, we're going to do Hard Boiled or one of those early like Chinese action movies. Just John Woo, it will come back up eventually. So we'll do a more thorough. Also, I want to talk about the Shaw Brothers and their empire, but it's just a little too long to get into now. So Philip Kwok is in a extremely violent movie from the mid-90s called Ricky-O, The Story of Ricky. RIKI-OH, if you are trying to look this up and are confused.
The Story of Ricky.
Yes, the story of... And Ricky is spelled RICKY after the colon, so... Just to make it extra confusing. But
we probably watched this movie together.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I'm sure Joseph Lackey or Mike Funk is responsible for this coming across our radar. But anyway, it's a movie based on a manga comic book, which I have read. It's pretty faithful to the whole thing except for the main character. The main character is a big white guy with long blonde hair for some reason, but
that was Ricky Schroeder. That was the story of Ricky Schroeder.
Yes. Did you say Ricky Schroeder? You almost sounded like you were doing a remix of the Silver Spoons song or something.
Read this off.
Okay, the synopsis is a young man with superhuman strength. Superhuman. Is incarcerated at a prison run by corrupt officials and seeks to use his martial arts to clean up the system. That description is so... I don't even know if that's true. In fact, I don't think it is. It just should say, like, grab a barf bag. This is the most violent, horrible movie you will see.
There are going to be dismemberments.
It's
decapitations.
I don't think it can rise to the level of Dead Alive, but it is real close.
Really close.
I don't think that there is as much non-stop violence like Dead Alive, but it's real close.
But I think it gets up there.
It gets up there. And, it fits all of our criteria. Somebody had to bring it over to our house, and explain it to us when DVD was a new thing. It's probably one of those ones that had just kind of circulated on, bootleg copies at like Comic-Cons and stuff.
I would bet that. So have you seen Ricky O2?
No, I have not. I read the little thing and it said that it wasn't, I don't think it was the same I don't think it was the same anything, except maybe the main actor.
Yeah, it's the main actor with a different name. It says the unofficial sequel.
Right, yes.
Right.
So, I don't know.
So it's unofficial, but we're going to call it the same.
Yes.
Okay.
It also only has one image, so I'm not, if I saw like somebody getting their head punched in half, I probably would try to find it, but
yes. Which if you look at the pictures on this, lots of carnage.
Well, now see, if there's anime to this, I'm going to be really upset because I didn't see it before. Do you see the drawn poster for like next to that one? It says Ricky O: The Wall of Hell. It has a painted manga. Oh, it is animated.
Oh.
Now I got to freaking get my hands on this. But it's like real, like the real Ghostbusters animated.
Oh, I see that.
No,
Ricky O: The Wall of Hell video, 1989. A story of a young man with a strength of 50 men who finds himself in a harsh prison run by evil assistant warden and the head boss who secretly has the ability to transform himself into a Hulk type monster.
Not into a small woman or a duck. I did not know that those were animated, and we'll have to find those. If you're looking at a couple of pictures of it, the guy... I probably could do a little research. In fact, I will have to before next week, but he has a Star of David scar, or a burn mark on the top of his right hand.
Right.
And I do not know what to make of that. I want to say he does in the movie as well.
We'll have to definitely dive into that. I want to know more.
Yes, I will do some research and see why that is.
But that was not the Ricky O2. That was another one.
Yes, there seems like there are a couple of animated. Child of Destruction is another one, another animated one.
That sounds awesome. Is that Ricky O in the playground as a kid?
Maybe.
I have the strength of 50 12-year-olds.
Yep.
That would
exactly.
Dodgeball is
snapping a kid in half by the tetherball pole or something. It also looks like he's fighting M. Bison a little bit in this.
I want to watch that now. We have got to start writing that right now.
We basically should have like 10 screenplays going. We'll have to get together on it. Delete all that so nobody else gets it.
So Su Wong Fan, who is Ricky, also played in IP Man. He was the IP Man.
Yes, Ip Man. I think you can just say Ip Man.
I want to say I watched the first one, but I've never seen any of the...
No, they're both... I think it's both Donnie Yen, and he is the for real badass. We saw him even before Ip Man Iron Monkey.
I know. I just scrolling past that.
He's so amazing in that. And he came out of this same sort of environment, I think.
I think so. It looks like, he was doing, he's listed for 54 stunts.
Yeah, and I think his kind of rise started with, like, Jet Li also they're real close, I think, in age and their kind of trajectory of their career. Why Donnie Yen wasn't, maybe just the fact that Jet Li, I don't know, did English speaking roles better or something? I wouldn't want to guess. But he's in a couple of those. Once Upon a Time in China 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's Jet Li. Holy crap, Iron Monkey. I'm going to watch that like tonight.
Awesome. It looks like there's a sequel as well.
Yeah, Iron Monkey 2. A movie that's just called Satan Returns. So that's in 96.
He was in Blade 2.
Oh, I don't know Blade 2 very well.
Yeah, you need to see it. Actually, it's
Okay.
worthwhile.
I think they're remaking Blade to fit better with the new MCU or whatever, but
That could be interesting.
yes. I can't remember who they had like picked for that, but yeah, I would like to see that. He's in Rogue One. He's the blind. I don't know if he's a Jedi or not. I don't know the Star Wars that well, but tabling Donnie Yen. We'll be back later. The story of Ricky is like us standing up and cheering during certain scenes and like spilling our beer everywhere because we just couldn't believe what we were seeing on the screen, It's just so over the top that it had to be talked about.
This is going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to have a ton of fun mispronouncing all of these names.
It's going to be rough. Okay, so I'm just looking at some stats. It's 91, 89% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's
Awesome.
very much
That's
cult movie,
The Riccio, The Wall of Hell is on YouTube.
That's the animated one.
It is on YouTube.
Okay. Wow.
Riccio, The Child of Destruction is also there.
Okay.
You want to watch those instead?
Maybe. Well, let's just watch all of them anyway. You can rent this on Amazon a couple of different ways, but the thing that I'm looking at in particular, you can do a 7-day free trial, and that might be the way to go because it looks, I just kind of have it paused, but it looks really good. I mean, the quality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't really have a lot else to say, but I love that movie, and it's been the perfect amount of time. I've just kind of forgotten some things, and it's a good time to watch it again.
All right. Well, we covered absolutely nothing from The Keep. Do you have anything to add from last week's movie?
My new action figure line that you keep on forgetting about. I almost wonder if you're breezing past that because you don't think that I'm going to do it, which basically I already have.
Okay.
Are there going to be some, Mattel trademark issues? Sure. But I think that happens with any half-assed new action figures that you create from a movie that you can't rent anywhere and have to watch basically a low-res version on YouTube.
Right.
So,
hey, I think I just found a full video for free on Riccio.
what are we talking here? Torrent-wise, or what's the...
No, this is on actually AsianMoviesOnline.com.
And there's no way that could be that young children shouldn't immediately look that up.
I'm just saying. It says English, Spanish, and Romanian, Hungarian subtitles. All of them?
Wow.
At the same time, maybe? Wow.
That seems like that would be confusing.
I am going to learn 6 languages at the same time. Right, well, I'm watching a clip from the movie right now just to check out the quality. It looks amazing.
Okay.
So I will post a link to this. I will send it to you as well.
Awesome.
That AsianMoviesOnline.com is not a bad link.
/ Okay, I don't want to know what it says after the slash.
You don't want to go any further.
Nope.
All right. Do we have anything else to follow up on?
Man, I wouldn't even know what it would be.
I have nowhere to start. All right. Tell everybody where they can find us then, Jason.
They can find us at themoratorium.com. You can find us on Twitter at moratorium. Still on LinkedIn. We have 3 followers, so hoping to get those numbers up. The followers are just my mom and
my aunt, but she doesn't realize it yet. I stole her phone when she wasn't looking.
Yeah, and the guy I met at the gas station yesterday.
I told him I'd give him $1, but he had to follow us.
Yeah, so it wasn't,
And he had an iPhone 12. It's amazing.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Well, let everybody else know as well that you can still support us through our Patreon. We would love to have you in our Patreon for as low as $1 a month. You can help us out. We will give you a shout out on the air.
That's not, $1?
$1. If you feel like supporting us, we feel like taking your money. And
that seems like the wrong message to send.
Know that we are doing all of this just for your entertainment for as cheap as possible. That new hoodie is available with Podcat on it. You can go check it out. You can also check us out on TeePublic. Know that on our Patreon, if you give us $3 a month, you are going to get the director's cuts of our movie episodes, which The Keep, I cut out, I think, 26 minutes.
Wow.
So you're not getting just a few minutes of extra shit. You're getting a whole hell of a lot of backstory, Chucks. We got a lot of Chucks in there.
Yeah.
If you want, I can put all the ums and and clicks and...
Oh my God. Can you do one of those super cuts of every time I say to a beat?
Yeah, I'm sure that Titanium Pinos could come up with something for that.
Yes.
We want to say thank you, Titanium Pinos, for your submissions, for our intro and our Goratorium music, which I never said, cue the music. I'll just work it in there.
He's a Moratorium all-star.
Yes. All right. I think that wraps it up. Let's shut this bitch down.
Let's do it. I think we've done enough damage for the day.
Yes, to my retinas and my ear holes.
I still have several IMDb tabs open, and they're about all different types of things.
This episode, we did kind of go around the block.
Took the long way home is what we did. Alrighty, well, but we did it. You can't say that we didn't.
I think we did something. So let's shut it down. Say goodnight, Podcat.
Wow. He's sick. I gave him human food.
And now he's got the taste for flesh? Is that what you're saying?
Yep. If you die in your house and are there for a few days, the cats will eat you. Keep that in mind.
That sounds like I've heard something like that.
Yep. Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. You've been listening to The Yarn Wall, an MT Cornfield production. Episode 1 of Year 2, the year we just might get potty trained. I'll have a link to Ricky-O, the story of Ricky, on our website so you can watch it along with us. Tune in next week when we break it down with a little help from an old friend. If you have any movie suggestions or just want to tell us how much we really suck, you can contact us at moviemoratorium@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and long live VHS. Doo-doo-doo-doo.
Yeah.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Give us some more of that.
I don't know how much more I've got.